Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for November 17th, 2019. With your host, Spacebreaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
We are for realsies doing Fourze. As long as Charter isn't a dick. Maybe. As long as Charter's not a dick. That's the only caveat, since it decided to be a dick last week. Wait, the optimal choice is Squabble? Okay. I look back though.
Really? We're gonna start already, Discord?
Discord, why?
Okay.
Discord, please.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you didn't hear what I said. Sabo was the starter choice. I guess that... Well, yeah, that... No, that doesn't make the first gym easier. That makes the first gym harder. Because you need something better option-wise for the grass gym, because the first gym's grass.
But, to be fair, I think wouldn't that fall under the same thing that... I believe, isn't it Fire Red and Leaf Green wound up falling into? Like, I'm thinking Red and Green, or Red and Blue actually do different than Fire Red and Leaf Green in terms of some of the optimization.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Fire Red and Leaf Green, so I'm not sure.
I can't swear to that, but I feel like I've seen that in one of them.
Yeah. But anywho, speedrunning aside, we are once more going to try to talk about episodes 25 through 28 of Fourze this week. But do you want to talk about 01 from last week, since this week's not up yet?
To be fair, I super need to go back through like I said I was going to on the off week and rewatch everything. Because, well, to be fair, I have kind of forgotten last week's. And I know it's not because of it being bad. I know it's a case of I just legitimately have forgotten. Like, I was part of the way through Fourze, the 4 episodes we're talking about today. I was part of the way through it, and then it's like, oh yeah, I kind of remember this. So, just for clarification, it is not just 01 that I'm at that with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hang on, I got a message.
Okay, I am super glad that was an intentional. You were just being quiet there.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I was half waiting for that to actually be Discord broke again.
Yep. For reference, you remember that Soto listing I was telling you about that's on Amazon for one of the double Chronicle sets?
Yes.
Okay. I got in touch with Bluefin and they said it was their listing. So they recently did their internal team for writer stuff did an interview today with Toku Nation, and they never mentioned the listing, which I found weird because before they announced like the CSM double driver and the Lost driver they were coming out with, there was this listing. And then they teased double stuff, and I'm like, So I don't know if this is theirs, which I'm really confused about because they specifically mentioned that they can't talk about premium Bandai stuff. And this Soto set is premium Bandai. And it's coming stateside through Amazon, which is a big surprise. So I'm really confused, and I sent the message to Toku Chris of Toku Nation to be like, I don't know what's going on. I don't want people hassling Team Rider over something that is possibly theirs, especially because of the wording in the email I got that said that they contacted their team and confirmed it was theirs. So I assume it was Team Rider, or I guess I got a message back from him just now. That was what I was reading. That's why I was quiet. And he said that like Premium Bandai is a separate team within Bluefin.
Well then.
Or the Soto stuff is a different team than like the CSM driver stuff. So I don't know. I've literally been, I wouldn't say sitting on the information for a few days, because I told the Soto Pop Discord this information, because that's where I first found it, is someone tweeted at one of the people there, like, hey, this listing's up. And everyone was like, okay, is this a third party thing? Is this like official? And I went and contacted Bluefin to confirm through them. And they said yes. And I told them, hey, this is Bluefin, this is official. You can pre-order without concern. But now I'm confused because they teased some big announcements within the next 3 weeks. And I'm like, is one of them this? Because we know about this. I know about this. I don't know how many other people know about this because no one's made a big deal about it. And I'm like, hey, here's a premium Bandai thing importing into America. This might be a big fucking deal. Maybe. I don't know. Because the timing of it is just like... Because also this premium Bandai... Like, normally for a premium Bandai product, there's a pre-order window. The pre-order window ran out, and then I believe a few days later, this listing went up. So... It's a confusing situation for me because all of the markers in terms of timing is too coincidental for me to not believe that Team Rider is somehow responsible for this in some way. Anywho. But yeah, you probably should do that because this week feels like a culmination, especially from the Zaya end of things. Granted, we're kind of dealing with a three-parter now, because this week's episode is going to lead into next week's episode with the Shining Hopper debut, which may or may not lead into the next episode. It depends on how Mr. Dodo is handled, whether he is like forever blown up at this point, or whether he gets to he gets to keep continuing because we know he still exists. He's gonna stick around. He's not done for good because he's in a fight scene with Assault Wolf in Shining Hopper.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, because the set photos I showed you, that's Shining Hopper, Assault Wolf, and what looks like Mr. Assassin in terms of the color of the armor. So, like, he's not done next week.
Which I'm a fan of.
Yes. Also, I love how on Twitter someone pointed out he's a goddamn Pokemon.
I mean, yes.
Yeah. Soto, I need some Mr. Assassin figures. Please. But yeah, you might want to do that because it feels like we're hitting the big like culmination of stuff point and maybe hitting a transition within the next like couple months to a new arc. But anyhow, shall we just get into Fourze?
I guess we shall.
All right, then. This set of episodes debuted March 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th of 2011. Our March batch of episodes. And our last batch before we get to Cosmic, actually. Because Cosmic is next week in the second half, so we're almost out of form changes outside the movie. We'll get there. So, any thoughts going in?
No?
Alright then, we are going to kick off with episode 25, Graduation Reluctance. It is springtime in Amanagawa, and it is also time for prom, as we see Shun make a big scene with a fucking whole big old truck with a video screen and extras to ask Miyu out to prom. And she says no. Immediately, just no. We don't really get a reason why she walks off, and Shun is very busted up about all this. Of course, Gentro has to be the one that gets the exposition, or to be the one to receive the exposition so we can be informed of what the hell prom is, in case you didn't know. But he also finds out that, oh yeah, Shun and Miyu are graduating, meaning they're not going to be in the club anymore. Assumingly. Spoilers, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah.
You thought
you were for a second.
Nope. So, we have to find a way to fill the holes that will be left by them. But somewhere else on the school, we see the witch Zodiac from Tomoko's introduction episodes. I can make a quick attack before leaving. And as a note, I'll say this again, even though I said it last week, but those episodes won't be highlighted going forward. I'm dropping when the cold opens come in, so to make the episode, like, explanations, like, just run through a little bit better.
Yeah, because honestly, sometimes I've noticed the cold openings kind of get broken because of the intro. And I mean,
yeah.
I know they have to do the intro. But I don't fault that. But I kind of fault the planning stage of it. Because I almost feel like maybe they should have, instead of doing it that way, just did the intro and then went straight into all of it.
Yeah. Granted, you say that, and I'm like, didn't XA drop the opening several times?
Yeah.
That's what I can remember a run of several episodes where the opening just didn't exist.
And I mean, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But I think also, if I'm not mistaken, if you look at those episodes where that opening just doesn't exist, you still get the opening song somewhere.
Yeah, so I think you get it at the...
That still kind of works itself in.
Yeah, I think you get it at the end, and all you get to break it up normally is just, here's the title card, back to the action.
Much like we kind of did with the end of O's.
Yep.
To reference something we recently did.
Yeah. But back to the episode. We check in with Hayame, who's practicing his speech for graduation, only for Natsuji to more or less just be an annoyance and annoy him and poke and prod him to fight him, and then he fights him for a little bit. And then Natsuji just leaves because he's done trolling Hayame for this week at least. He is just one massive asshole, and I honestly thought he lasted longer than he did. Because, spoilers, Crabman's not going to last much longer.
To be fair, I kind of feel like that's fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we check in with Gintaro and crew. He's trying to cheer up Shun, but they're unfortunately interrupted by a local school reporter harassing the former witch, chameleon, and dragon zodiarts, more or less trying to get information about the whole monster Fourze incident, because apparently that's a big secret.
Even though Gintaro has not tried to hide it in the least bit.
No, he's pretty openly transformed, and also Gintaro's fought as Zodiarts out in the open, like, fairly openly as well. So the monster attacks are not an unknown. I guess it's just a case of identities is the unknown. Anywho, she wants the scoop, but the club more or less tries to shoo her away to protect the others. But she counters with a photo of the witch Zodiart in action, which makes Gintaro kind of falter for a moment, thinking like, hey, she slipped and went back, because we have experience with that being a possibility.
Which is kind of nice that they've done that at this point. Because that kind of does show the whole, yeah, he's not as dense as everyone tries to make him out to be.
Yeah.
He has realized that it can happen.
Mm-hmm. But this causes the group to more or less just leave in a huff and kind of hit Gintaro on the way out. We also note that the two girls in this group wanted to ask Gintaro to her prom. Because of course they did. That's a weird trend these 2 episodes. Like an extremely weird trend. Anywho, we see the group regroup at the hutch. And they try to figure out what's going on. And Gintaro pretty much just decides, hey, I'm going to find them innocent no matter what, because I believe in them. I believe in these people that I befriended off screen, kind of. And don't worry about the logistics of that part.
And he kind of kicks himself for even having that doubt to begin with.
Yeah. Yuki's in a bit of a panic over this, which is kind of out of character for her a little bit.
Yeah, but get used to it, because that happens this entire arc.
Yeah. Which is not helped because Miyu decides to name her the new president. So Yuki's now in charge of the club. Unfortunately, Shinamiyu or...
Yeah, we'll leave it at that for right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Shun and Miyu are still on the outs after they have a quick conversation. But that's when Burger E calls in, and we see that the chameleon is on the attack. Gintaro tries to intercept it, and actually gets the upper hand, since he knows how chameleon works now, and just paints it with the pen module. It's just like, hey, you're not invisible anymore, technically. Bop, bop, bop. Meteor drops in also and helps out when Gintaro is trying to interrogate the Zodiart and try to get some information out of it, and it is silent. We will soon see why. But it goes boom thanks to Meteor, and a wig is left in the aftermath. It unfortunately catches fire before Yuki can scan it too much with Burger E. But we do know that they are after trying to cancel prom, which unfortunately causes more friction between Miyu and Shun, because again, they're not buddy for about 2 episodes. So we cut to the next day, and they try to talk things out, or the club tries to talk out with the different Zodiarts individually. Tomoko goes to the witch one. Miyu goes to the chameleon one. The dragon one gets talked to off screen, I guess, by Gintaro and Shun, because we end up on them last in this series of scenes. which makes me think that Dragon might have been the last minute change. Because he feels like the odd one out of this group.
Yeah.
Because 2/3 of these are from, like, club introduction arcs, and Dragon is from 2 arcs ago, introducing magnet states. And doesn't have a real personal connection to anybody in the club, like the other 2 do. So I don't know if he was a last minute change or...
because, the only other option that I could think would be if it was supposed to signify form changes, but then that means that actually they goofed another one then in that aspect.
Yeah, because it should be the unicorn. And that's Jake's introduction.
Yeah.
Not Miyu's.
Huh.
Unless they wanted 2 girls and a guy for later.
Like, maybe that's the only other option?
Granted, I don't know how many of the previous Zodiarts they specifically signified as seniors. Which needs to be the other thing, because all 3 of these Zodiarts are all seniors. They're all graduating. That might have been the other problem, is just, oh, fuck. Dragon's the only senior Zodiart we can actually get back. Oops. But, anywho, the talking doesn't get anywhere, and as we check in with Gintro and Shun, as the last ones to check in on, Shun imagines a way to ask out Miyu to prom again, which involves having Gintro as Fourze dig up one of the yards into an I love you thing, and then fly Shun up to Miyu in one of the buildings in a higher window to ask her out. And that is probably the stupidest idea he could have come up with so far. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, he realizes it's an incredibly stupid idea. But Gintro tries to, like, help him out, kind of talk things out with him, and that gets him to try to go talk things out with Miyu, only for it to be interrupted by Dragon attacking, so now Gintro has to go fight Dragon. Thankfully, he also tries to counter it with known methods, so he just goes Magnet States and tries to destroy it with Magnet, only it's not metal, which is weird because that's Dragon's entire gimmick, is being metal. That's not right. That's wrong. Something's up here. So Gintro kind of just ignores it and just goes, well, I'm just going to blow it up, only for Miyu to run in and go, no, don't blow it up the way you're trying to blow it up. We lose our evidence that way. Instead, she said Kengo would suggest to him to just run the cannons from Magnet States into it to blow it up safely. That feels weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does blow up, revealing that the wig that we saw earlier is actually being controlled by the hair Zodiart. Which, I love that Jake is the one that goes, this is not real. That's not a real constellation. Bullshit, Kengo. Prove me wrong. Which, I give him credit. I would even question being like, wait, is there really a hair constellation?
Yeah.
Anywho, it's the one controlling and making these copies of Zodiarts, and it is under command of Crabman. So now Gintro is fighting the both of them in a 2-on-1 fight, meaning, we're in trouble. And since Shun is missing, by process of elimination, Jake is thrown in the Powerdizer, and he's having to help Gintro fight off the Zodiarts. And I love their process of elimination of, well, Yuki and Kengo are the smart ones that handle the tech stuff. I guess smart in quotations for Yuki in this scenario. But they're the one handling the tech stuff, so not them. So that leaves Tomoko and Jake, and well, Jake, you're probably the more stamina fit one in this case. Get in there. But they actually end up doing all right. By the time Shun arrives, unfortunately, Miyu and Shun are still arguing. And we find out that Miyu actually doesn't want to retire from being in the club, even though Shun's kind of okay with that, since, hey, they can handle this. It's okay. We can step away, even though it's not been that long. Kind of. Is it weird that I feel like these... Yeah, it feels weird, because I'm like, you two haven't really done that much, have you? Like, Tomoko has a skill set that actually has helped several times past her introduction. And Jake has his information. Shun can pilot the power dizer when we need it, which is not that often. Miyu, what are you doing to help us here? Besides occasionally make a plan? Anywho. We end the episode with Miyu saying that she wanted to go to prom with Gentaro. So Gentaro, without trying, has gotten 3 different people wanting him to go with prom, or wanting him to go with prom with them. Try to find the right structure for that. So, yeah, fun times. But that takes us to episode 26, Perfect Round Dance. Jake manages to actually blow up the puppet witch Zodiart, while Gentaro manages to send both Crabman and Hare running for the moment. So Jake, in his first fight, is +1 on destruction of a horoscope. Or destruction of something. So he's 1-up Shun. Yay! It is hilarious to think about it that way. Unfortunately, Ryusei realizes that, Jake probably can't run the power dizer really at all, so we're kind of screwed in the long term. And unfortunately, we are also screwed because Miyu and Shun part ways with the group in separate directions after they have a bit of an argument over the whole prom retiring situation. We actually check in with Miyu back at the hutch as she's packing up while the team figures out their next move. Gentaro is also concerned about Shun and Miyu's personal crisis, so he runs off to go try to figure that out. Only for Tomoko to arrive in his place with the group to show them that, yeah, that group of Zodiarts is being harassed by the students because that reporter put an article out pretty much stating them to be the ones behind those attacks. Those specific attacks that they are responsible for. So, that's not good. The club tries to deny this, but nobody believes them. Which I find hilarious, because it's like, I have to think that some of these people know that they're the ones that are responsible for stopping these attacks. Why would you not believe them? Also, why would the report not name them as being the ones helping the guy in the white suit?
Because reasons.
A bit one-sided on the reporting, I would say.
I mean, spreading rumors more than news.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, it looks like graduation and prom might be canceled, only for Usugi to arrive, sign in hand, going, No. What would make you believe that? Nothing has been canceled because of these monster attacks so far. Why would this be canceled? I'm gonna go put the sign up somewhere. Bye. The reporter is very not happy about this, so... we head back to the hutch where Gentro finds Miyu on a walk on the moon. Heading out to meet her, he gets a exposition dump about her first prom, where a senior danced with her, and she wants to return that dance she got by dancing with a person that's helped her the most, and that is actually Gentro. Shun ends up overhearing all of this, especially when Miyu just decides, okay, I will dance with Shun at prom, as a request from Gentro. So Gentro comes back. He thinks he's got this all solved until Shun comes out from hiding and decks him in suit, mind you. Gentro has not de-transformed. He is still in the Fourze suit. And Shun decks him with his bare hand. And bloodies his knuckle. With no open wounds, so I don't know where the blood came from. I love it when they do that. Yeah, he's upset because this wasn't how it was supposed to go, so, yeah. Nobody's really happy. Later on, we, check in with Kengo. Kengo, Yuki, and Tomoko, and they confront the reporter, and we find out that she's the one that is Hair, because she doesn't want the Zodiarts to graduate or enjoy prom or anything, because fuck them. They try to destroy the school. I don't like them. So Yuki transforms, roughs up the place a little bit, and tries to bolt, but Meteor is there to intercept her. And it doesn't quite go well for Meteor at the start, but he does get in the finisher, only for Hair to no-sell the fuck out of it after exploding. Because she is standing there in the midst of the explosion and just retransforms. Hot damn. That is the most... They really sell her as being really strong. I'll give them credit. But after that, she runs. So our group is more or less left waiting for her to attack because they got no way of tracking her now. We cut to graduation, proper graduation this time, and it's pretty quiet. Unfortunately, Jake is asleep in the dizer, and no one seems to notice. I guess no one decided to knock on it and be like, Jake, you awake in there? You okay? You're not answering verbally to anything we say to you.
Even though the dizer was completely even doing the whole nodding off, dozen and carrying on.
Yeah. You'd think somebody would have noticed. We note that the Zodiarts missed the prom, and I think, does Shun miss prom too?
At least the subs that I was seeing didn't say that. The only thing that was said was Gentro said that Shun was still mad at him.
Oh, okay.
So, it's possible.
Do you know which subs
I did notice... I think it was the Acer subs.
Okay,
I did notice they modified something, because at the beginning of the whole arc where Usugi's there and witnesses the first attack that sparks all of this, I know that he said the word for monster, but the sub never included that in that. But the sentiment was still there, so I know they play fast and loose with it at least.
Yeah, I'm watching Team Nihon subs, and the Team Nihon subs seem to imply that Shun missed graduation. I think.
I mean, that could be the case, because like I said, it was said directly after they noted that the three of them didn't go to graduation.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, it could be, but it never said it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But anywho, none of them miss prom night as we see Shun and Miyu arrive together, and they run into Dragon and Chameleon, who are together. And once they go inside, they find that Ryusei is partnered up with the Witch Zodiac, mainly because the group talked him into it because Tomoko threatened him with a curse. I don't think those are that powerful.
Did actually.
Yeah, they tag team it, but it was mainly Tomoko with a curse.
Yeah, because it always
which
is.
Which I think is more just for you say going, fine, Tomoko was the one mainly asking me to do this. Fine, I'll do it. But yeah, inside we see that the Japanese Blues Brothers. I don't know because this is not Everset, and the only reason I say it's not Everset is because of a band that shows up later. Because I'm like, this is not Everset. This is not the band that does the main theme for Fourze. I can't think of another major band besides the band to come that does a Fourze song. So I'm just going to say it's the Japanese Blues Brothers because they are dressed like the Blues Brothers. Yeah, missing from the prom is, of course, Gentaro, Yuki, Tomoko, Kengo, and Jake. So they're busy. Ryusei does take a moment to tell Shun and Miyu, yeah, the club still needs you because Jake can't handle the Dizer and Yuki's not ready for leadership. So you need to stick around. Goodbye. But that's when we go outside and see that the reporter is there to cancel the party. Gentaro and the group are there to stop her. Her switch goes last one while Gentaro transforms, and the two fight it out, which, before they properly do, the Kamen Rider girls are here to cameo real quick. It is so weird to keep seeing them because this will be, I want to say, the third show in a row that they cameo in. Because they cameo in the O's movie. They cameo here, but I don't remember if they cameo any other time. And they cameo in the Wizard movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're technically one of... I think they're attacked by Sorcerer. So it's a quick blink and you miss it cameo. But the reason these two cameos are noteworthy is because they're actually in their normal stage outfit in these two cameos, while they're more casually dressed in Wizard. I guess for those who don't know who the Kamen Rider girls are, they're I don't know if it's an internal band in Toei, but it's a band that Toei taps to do various theme songs for them. So I'm trying to think of all they do. I might have to just pull up their bibliography because they've done, I believe, Muteki's theme from X8. Fuck, I'm trying to think of one that would have played in series. And I can't think of one at the moment. But oh no, they also show up in Gaim. They're one of the bands in Gaim. Or one of the dance teams in Gaim. They're in the Sengoku movie Tyson. And they also appeared in Drive, so like they appear in like 5 shows in a row. If you remember me playing one of the Battle Red War games, they did Break the Shell, which is one of the Battle Red War themes. Yeah, they've done like several themes. If you've heard a more or less a girl band, an all-girl band singing a song for Rider, it is probably them, because they are an all-girl band. But they're here to more or less sing one of their songs as I guess the theme for the fight, because they sing for like half the fight, and also as the song for the dance. Yeah, as they sing, Gentro is off fighting Hare and Crabman, who's also there to fight Gentro. So Gentro's once more in a 2-on-1 fight. But everyone's dancing until Shun notices that, oh yeah, all the food droids are here to keep an eye on the place. Conspicuously. Because there's like a pack of fries, like these different packs of fries on this really nice serving tray. And I'm like, that's a little low budget. Also, were some of these in clearly not McDonald's boxes? Or is that my imagination?
I feel like you're right.
Yeah, because when I was looking at information for the series, I found out that apparently the food droids may or may not have been designed after different food products from the McDonald's menu, because McDonald's is a sponsor for the series. So technically, all the food droids should have a McDonald's logo on them, because they're all McDonald's food products. So that happened. Anywho, after Shin notices this, he decides, well, I guess I'm not retiring, at least not yet. And he goes off to go fight and help, and Miyu decides to follow not long after, doing the whole rip the dress a little bit so I can run better. Ignoring the fact that she's still in heels. Which I'm pretty sure that doesn't help. Anywho, back with the fight, Jake, who is trying to fight with the Paradiser, is unfortunately curve stomped, and he is dunked out of the Dizer, leaving Gentro alone until Miyu and Shun arrive. Shun hopping in the Dizer to go help. Shun and Gentro set up a combo attack with Magnet States, and more or less, Shun just shoves. Well, he tries to shove Crabman, who runs, but does shove the hair Zodiarch into Gentro's like charging tackle attack to blow it up. Which, if you saw me stream Super Climax Heroes, you saw this finisher because it's the Magnet States finisher from the game. Pretty much verbatim. Also, I think this is the only time this is ever used. But yeah, hair's blown up. She's returned to normal. But before we get to properly wrap up, Shun asks Gentro to give Miyu her dance before he heads out. And we almost get to play out the episode to a montage of moments from Shun and Miyu to the song the Kamen Rider girls were playing earlier. Except we check in the next day and find out, oh, Miyu and Shun aren't gone. They're moving their stuff back in because their colleges are nearby. And they more or less just take up the same roles with new titles. Because fuck the status quo.
Well, and because we need a way where we can make it so that they don't have to always be there.
Apparently, because they were not there all the time anyway. It probably doesn't help that, like, Miyu kind of feels redundant in a sense, and Shun is piloting the CG robot, which we only have so much budget for.
Mm-hmm.
And that ends our first half of the episode. So how'd you feel about the status quo not changing and having 2 episodes dedicated to implying we're changing the status quo, but to turn around and reinforce it because, oh yeah, we can't let go?
I feel like they should have let go.
Yeah.
That would have been the perfect end for their arc, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But no, they couldn't let go.
I think it doesn't help that, I'll be honest, the Fourze supporting cast is a bit on the bloated side. I don't think we need as many club members as we have.
I mean, it was fine up to this point. Now it's like, yeah, who's not been useful? I mean, that's the point where I think we've kind of hit, and it's like, yeah.
Unfortunately, I have to say it's Miyu. Out of everybody on this cast, Miyu feels, again, redundant.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't feel necessary. She doesn't really contribute anything that no other club member could contribute.
But, okay. Once the CGI budget's gone, there goes Shun.
Yeah.
Truthfully, they have to purposely write it in such a way for Jake or Tomoko to be important to it, truthfully.
Yeah.
I mean, they could trim it back however they felt the need to, and it'd be fine.
Yeah, which means all we really need is the core 3 people we started the show with, because they're the ones that feel important.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh, Kengo handles all the Astro Switch stuff. Yuki is his partner and more or less acts as kind of the comedy of the show most of the time. And also gets to be the most normal person on this cast. I'm going to put in quotations because of her antics. Yeah, I guess it... Yeah. It probably doesn't help that I guess they wanted a support, like a cast of 7 people, since it was the 40th anniversary. Which feels once more one of those, yeah, we're gonna hamper the show by trying to do this reference. Because, 40 switches are not helpful either. Yeah, it was, I guess, an alright 2 episodes, but I think it helps to showcase that, yeah, the supporting cast is a bit bloated. We don't need this many people.
I mean, like I said, had this been their final episode, then it would be on par kind of deal. Like, I figured up until they kind of did the whole, oh, they're not gone yet thing, that was kind of their way of being like, okay, here's our answer to cutting the CGI budget.
Yeah.
And maybe trimming the people that haven't really been as much of a help either kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see that and it's like, okay, well, so that whole 2 episodes did nothing.
Except reinforce the status quo after we tried to upset the status quo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what's bad is where we started going into this arc is pretty much where we ended.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Crabman, his one and only Zodiark, this is going to be his one and only Zodiark because, well, as you'll find out, because are you ready to move into the second half?
Yep.
Alright then, we kick off with episode 27, Transformation Rejected. It is spring break, and Crabman is taking souls in the gym from students that don't make him laugh. How has no one noticed all the unconscious bodies that are just laying around in the gym?
It's spring break. No one cares.
Well, I mean, like the club. Why did no one think to do a patrol?
Again, it's spring break. No one cares.
Yeah, apparently. Because as we find out, the club is completely unaware of this, and they believe everything is quiet. Thanks, guys. People are having their souls stolen. And for reference, I'm not kidding. People are literally having their souls stolen in the shape of white rings that look like they're made out of dough.
Yeah.
But we actually, while we're at the hutch, we get the debut of what I believe is the final food roid, the drone nugget roid. It's a box that has a bunch of chicken nuggets that are drones.
It's a 4-piece chicken McNugget.
I think it's technically a 6-piece actually.
There's only 4 nuggets.
Oh, okay. I thought there was 6 nuggets.
Nope.
Okay, I'm wrong. Anyway, Shun and Miyu are still here, and Gentro decides that, hey, we're on spring break, everyone come over to my place so we can go have dinner together. And everyone's accepting, including Ryusei, who we see is like, I don't want to do this, but it will give me more information. Fine, I'll do this. And a nice, like, freeze frame internal monologue scene. Outside, he has a chat with Tachibana about events and more or less establishing the stakes, because here we find out, oh yeah, if your identity's outed as Meteor, I'm taking the bell away from you. Which, maybe we should have established that sooner.
Possibly.
Also, he's on his way. He's on his way to meet Natsuki because Natsuki called him and wanted to talk. So that's happening. He mentions to Tachibana he needs an upgrade, which Tachibana says, maybe you don't. Maybe you need to back off your ego a bit. But whatever. I've already done it. Because we see the Meteor Storm switch in his hand. And it will debut next episode. So don't worry. You're not going to believe it.
Yeah, Tachibana is really good at those light speed travels.
Look, he has the same teleportation system that the 01 satellite does.
And that I didn't realize, but the magnet phone does.
Yeah.
Because that was something that I meant to mention in, I think it was the last episode. Yeah, I think it was actually. Yeah, that magnet phone just gets tossed like way away, and then he manages to pull it out of his back pocket.
Yep.
I didn't catch that the first time. I caught it the second time, and I'm like, oh, okay, did no one realize that?
Yeah. Well. Anyway, we see Usugi's relaxing on a rooftop because he's enjoying the quiet of spring break, because he's one of those teachers that doesn't like students. Of course he is. Meanwhile, we check in with Gamal and Hayame real quick as Gamal whammies another cop to get him off his back, and he just casually mentions, it's like, maybe I should work on mass mind control. I don't think that ever comes into play, actually. I don't remember. It might, but I don't think it does. Anyway, Hayame says that Crabman needs to be reined in, and Gamal's just like, let him do whatever he wants, I don't care. So we check back in where Ryusei as he's talking with Crabman as he just casually taking souls, and ask Ryusei, hey, join me, because we're both assholes that lie to people. And Ryusei, of course, says no, because at least he has a moral compass. And is not trying to be Shang-Chi from Mortal Kombat. So he leaves. Crabman tries to chase after him, but Ryusei ducks him to go become Meteor and fights him. And then we kind of like get cuts of the two of them fighting with the Gentro stuff. So I'm just going to sum up most of it here by saying, hey, they fight all over campus with Crabman refusing to shut up and makes every joke possible about Meteor.
Yeah.
Because Crabman might have broke a little in between episodes. I think he went crazy.
Well, and I think, don't we kind of get that told to us also right before all this? Or no, it's after this.
It was
Yeah.
later where Kamau kind of notes, it's like, maybe he's evolving too quick. Maybe we need to put a kibosh on this before it becomes a problem. Oh, good. Someone put a kibosh on it before it became a problem. Good. We still got the Switch, though. That's all that matters. But meanwhile, to most of this stuff, and as it's kind of intercut, we check in with Gentro, who introduces everybody to his grandpa, who works at a motorcycle shop. For reference, this is not Tachibana. Not Tachibana, Meteor Satellite Tachibana. Showa era original series Tachibana, who was Ichigo and Nigo's support man who ran a motorcycle racing shop and fixed up their motorcycles. This is not him. This is actually a guy who played one of the original villains from Go Ranger for Sentai, as I looked into it.
It would have been funny if it was the same guy, though.
Yes, but I don't think that actor still was alive at the time, which was the problem. Let me check that real quick. Because I know there's a kind of a weird note. Because, in the debut episode for one of the episodes of Fourze actually falls on the day that Stronger's actor passed away. Which is one of those like, oh, that's wow. No, he passed away in 96. Okay, I was just like, I don't think he was alive at the time. No, he passed away in 96 of lung cancer, actually. So yeah, they could not get the original Tachibana back for this. Which is why they got someone else to kind of cameo as Gentro's grandfather. Yeah, he works on motorcycles and is about as eccentric as Gentro is. Which should be the surprise to no one. Of course, the person who raised him practically is just as out there as Gentro. After all of this cutting back and forth, we're going to cut back into with Meteor real quick as he thinks he's lost Crabman at the library and detransforms, only to find out that Crabman did not leave and shows that, oh yeah, I faked leaving and now I know that you're Meteor. Uh-oh.
Done goofed now.
Super goofed, actually. But checking back in with Gentro now, we see dinner is served and it's some type of hot pot with some very odd food coloring for the sauce with noodles and some large-ass fucking meatballs? I have no idea, to be honest. This is probably a Japanese.
I mean, in all seriousness.
Some type of balls made of some type of probably meat or other kind of products. One of them is covered in apparently some really spicy powder of some sort. Anyway, that's not the important part. Ryusei actually ends up arriving to join dinner. And we get some of the backstory on Gentro of how his parents died at a young age in a car accident. Or when he was young in a car accident. And Gentro, I guess, kind of in tribute to them, has really pushed to make friends with everybody because his dad liked it when he said he got a new friend. And Ryusei is just like, that's stupid. You're an idiot. I hate this. I think he's just mad because Crabman found out his identity.
Yes.
So Ryusei ends up leaving because he's in a bad mood. And only Tomoko really notices that he's in a bad mood, which is nice setup for later, actually. I didn't realize how much they set up their relationship in the series. Because for reference, this actually goes somewhere. Anyway, Ryusei leaves, actually finds Crabman out and about, wants to fight him, but can't transform because, Tachibana said, hey, if someone finds out your identity, I'm not going to let you transform. So now Meteor can't transform. Oh no. So he proceeds to get the shit kicked out of him. And Crabman's just like, oh, you're trying to fake it. You're trying to show that, like, you're not actually Meteor. I see through this. I see through this bullshit. Well. Gentaro and Tomoko soon arrive. Gentaro transforming to help. Still not able to defeat Crabman, unfortunately. Ryusei, off to the side, contacts Tachibana, finds out, hey, I'm going to take your gear soon, but for now, you can't transform, so, bye. And we end the episode with Crabman shaking off a Magnet States finisher and going supernova on his own, without Kamau giving him the power to do so. So, now we legitimately have a giant enemy crab.
Quite literally.
Yeah, just throwing that one out there. Which takes us to episode 28, Starstorm Comeback. We find out that Crabman's transformation into his giant enemy crab form is a bit unstable, but it does last long enough to take Gentaro to town for a bit before he's dropped out of it. Virgo drops by real quick to teleport him away, since we can't lose him just yet. But before he does, he takes Ryusei's soul all casual-like and tells him, hey, meet me in class at 3 o'clock. Checking in with the boss, Kamau actually commends Crabman for gaining Supernova on his own, and pretty much sends him on his way to catch the fish that he talks about reeling in. But like we were noting earlier, notes he might be getting too strong too quick. He might become a problem. And he might be just a little bit unstable on more than just a power level. Because just as a reference, or just as a note, he will not stop making jokes. I mean, he literally cannot stop at this point.
And it's not a can't stop, won't stop situation. No, it's a can't stop, can't stop.
This is literally a man who you probably want to yell shut up at. Which makes what happens later appropriate. We're back at the hutch where Ryusei wakes up and heads out because it's almost time for him to meet Crabman. Gentaro talks him into tagging along. This technically happens a little bit afterwards, but I might as well just say it now because before Ryusei gets to leave, he gets a call that says, oh, yeah, your friend who's in the coma at the moment, he might be dying. You probably should come by. So Ryusei's in a rough spot right now. So at the classroom, Gentaro offers his soul in exchange for Ryusei's, so Ryusei can have time to go see his friend and come back. And Crabman is very not happy about this, especially when the entire club tags in and offers all of their souls as well. So Crabman takes the offer. So Ryusei now has an hour to go meet his friend and get back before he just absorbs everyone's soul for good. Checking in with Ryusei, he does make it to his friend and tries to get him to tough it out and make it through the medical emergency he's in besides being in a coma. I don't think they really specified.
No, they didn't, actually.
He's dying because the plot needs him to die. But we check in with the club and they have to play the game that Crabman was playing with the people from the start of the 2 episodes to get him to laugh, and everybody flunks very, very badly.
very badly and in their own way.
Yeah. Tomoko is the last one standing out of the group. But before because again, we're cutting in between stuff here, and I'm piling in the relevant stuff. Or piling the relevant stuff together to make it a little simpler to follow. Tachibana calls Ryusei and tells him, by the way, you can have your ability to transform back and your power-up if you go to the point I tell you to instead of saving the club, because the point he tells him to is halfway across town, away from the school. Which makes what happens later a bit weird. But okay, sure. So, left with a moral dilemma, Ryusei actually chooses the club and arrives just in time to prevent Tomoko from having her soul stolen. But Crabman decides to shake up the deal and says, "Hey Ryusei, make me laugh." So Ryusei actually gets him to laugh by getting the shit kicked out of him and making Crabman laugh at the fact that he is pathetic. Haha. So the club is saved, their souls are returned, and Gentaro transforms to fight Crabman, while Ryusei heads off to go get his belt and his power-up, because maybe Tachibana will be lenient, is what he's thinking at the moment. So while Gentaro is getting trounced by Crabman in his supernova form, Ryusei makes it to the point where his belt, or the power-up is, begs Tachibana to let him have it, and it's just there. And Tachibana tells him, "Yeah, you choosing the club got you your stuff back. Go kick his ass." So once Gentaro's knocked out of magnet states, Ryusei as Meteor arrives and proceeds to go Meteor Storm. And with a fancy long staff in hand, he trounces the goons that Crabman spawns, and then proceeds to do his finisher, which is to literally drop a Beyblade on the ground that rips Crabman apart, cuts off his tongue, and more or less absorbs all the cosmic energy off of him so he doesn't blow up half the town. Yes, Meteor Storm's finisher is literally a goddamn Beyblade. So how do you feel about Meteor Storm? With the literal dumbest finisher in this fucking franchise. Because I don't think there's one dumber than this. This is peak. I could say I like it. I mean, outside of the Beyblade part, the Beyblade part is extremely dumb. I think it's too much even for me. How do you feel?
I think I have to agree with you.
I know one person who would like this. Actually, no, scratch that. I know several people who would like this. But yeah, it feels weird, especially because like the staff fighting doesn't feel as fluid as Meteor's normal fighting, and I think it's because of the inflexible shoulder pads Meteor has in his design. So like power-wise, it's an improvement, but choreography-wise, it feels like a downgrade. But anyway. Crabman is blown up, but he does get away. He makes it back to the front of the school and drops his switch, only for Hayame to arrive and disguises him as the cop from before so Virgo can dump him into the Dark Nebula before he can reveal who Meteor is. So we cleaned up that plot point. We see Ryusei checking in with his friend again, who's fine now. And he chats with Tachibana about events real quick before he's welcomed back with the club and more or less just glad his friends are okay, and is like, hey, I like this club. They helped me out this one time. They're not completely useless. And that is it. So how'd you feel about these 2 episodes?
I felt like it was a good development for Ryusei.
Yeah.
Let me guess.
If it's out,
reverses it.
oh, there are things to come in literally 3 to 4 episodes. Because you remember me saying about a fight in Super Climax Heroes being kind of important, kind of spoilery?
Mm-hmm.
If you knew the dialogue for that scene, you can probably imagine. Because that dialogue is from the Cosmic debut episodes. Specifically, the first of those 2 episodes. So, suffice to say, hey, this is a nice happy moment for Ryusei in relation to the club. That won't last. Mainly because, yeah, things are gonna happen. Some very bad things are gonna happen. All I can say is, Gitro was a very forgiving person. Maybe more than he should be. But yeah, it's a nice 2 episodes. I like Meteor Storm's debut. Meteor Storm itself could be a little bit better, because maybe it didn't need both shoulder pads. Or those shoulder pads could be a bit more flexible. Otherwise, I'm mainly just sad to see Crabman go, because it was nice to have him around. Unfortunately, the next horoscope will last less time, actually. Because next week, we will have a quick 2 episodes, kind of fillery, I believe. I don't remember those 2 offhand. But the second half will be Cosmic Form's debut. And oh boy, are we in for a ride on those. A hard enough ride that there is actually a director's cut version of those 2 episodes. It adds in a bunch of scenes, but otherwise it's primarily unchanged. We're not going to worry about it too much. We'll just be watching the episodes individually, because I'm sure the website you're watching through probably doesn't have that noted.
Probably not.
Yeah, anything else?
I can't think of anything.
All right, then. If you want to know when we go live, at TG Saloon on Twitter is where to go. If you got questions, ! Discord in chat. We'll get you to Discord. We got a Dropbox for questions. We'll answer them on Relevant Podcast. And you can also chat about games and whatever in the Discord as well. We got channels for that. And we have a follower goal. We are chipping away at it. Either hitting 200 or hitting affiliate. We'll get me to play Rider Revolution on the 3DS emulation. And Tommy will be playing some Halo custom campaigns, which I'm really curious about. This is something I didn't know existed, and now I'm super curious. I want to know. I want to know what crazy things people have created. Yeah, that'll do it for me and for Tommy. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week for more Fourze.